Hello everybody, I hope everything is going fine with you. Welcome to another video. Today we are going to cover a new lesson in grammar, which is the past perfect continuous. So as you may know, in order to better understand any tense in English, we need to know three things about it. So the first thing that we are going to talk about is the form. How do we form the past perfect continuous? The second thing is the uses. So when do we use this tense and what do we use it for? And of course, last but not least, the time expressions or adverbials or time indications associated with this tense. So there are mainly three uses of the past perfect continuous. The first use is to talk about long actions in the past. So before we move on to see an example, let's see first how do we form the past perfect continuous tense. So this is how we form the past perfect continuous. We start first by the subject and then had been, okay, be it singular pronoun or plural pronoun, had been doesn't change. And then we add ing at the end of the verb between brackets. Let's see this example here, which is a long action in the past. So I had been teaching in this school for 15 years. So this is clearly a long action in the past. And of course, the indication that tells us that this is a long action, not a short action, is the period of 15 years. So it's a long period to be a teacher just in one school and to be a teacher in general. Okay, it's a long period of time. And as you may see here, the words in purple are the conjugation of teach in the past perfect continuous. So here had been, and then the verb which is teach, you can see that we added ing at the end. The second use of the past perfect continuous is to talk about an action in progress before the action interrupt the first one. So here we have two actions. The first action, which is in the past perfect continuous, that is in progress before another action came and interrupt the first one. So in order to better understand what do we mean by that, let's see an example here. So as you may see here, we have two actions. We have the first action that is in purple, it was in progress, and the second one, you can see that it is conjugated in a simple past. So Dawood had been chatting on Snapchat for more than 3 hours when Yusuf came. So here we have a long action, an action in progress, and then came another action and interrupt the first one. So the action in progress should be in the past perfect continuous, and the second action that came and interrupt the first one should be in a simple past. So this is a clear action, a clear example, sorry, for two actions. The first one is happening in the past perfect continuous, and the second one is clearly in simple past. And as you may see here, come, came, and come. And this is an irregular verb. So the third use of the past perfect continuous tense is to talk or to explain why an action had happened in the past. So let's see an example in order to understand what do we mean by that. So here, my mother was ill because she had been doing the housework for more than 6 hours. So here, we use the past perfect continuous tense in order to explain why an action had happened in the past. So the action that had happened is my mother got ill or my mother was ill. And the explanation, of course, starts with because she had been doing the housework for more than 6 hours. So it is an explanation of the action, and at the same time, it is a long action in the past, doing the homework for more than 6 hours, or just reading a book or short story for more than 6 hours. It is considered a long action in the past. So let's see more examples to better understand. So Ali had lung cancer because he had been smoking for 10 years. So here this is clearly an explanation of an action that happened in the past. So the action that had happened is in the simple past. You can see that have, became had, which is the simple past of had, and you can see that we use the simple past and the past perfect continuous at the same sentence. So here, this is why simple past is so important, because in most of the cases it came with the past perfect at the same sentence and the past perfect continuous at the same sentence. But what makes the difference between the past perfect continuous and the past perfect is the uses of these two tenses. So here Ali had cancer, or Ali had lung cancer, because he had been smoking for 10 years. So here we are talking about a long period of time in the past. Another example to be given of a long action in the past, or an interrupted action in this case: I had been playing video games for long hours when the light went off. So here we have two actions. The action in progress is the first one, which is I had been playing video games for long hours or for non-stop hours. We don't really know how much hours are, how many hours. Is it 6 hours? Is it 7 hours? Is it 10 hours? Is it the whole day? So it's a long action in the past. So here, and the second action, which is the light went off suddenly. So the second action interrupt the first action, which was in the progress. Okay. So here I had been playing video games for long hours. This is a long action in the past. Then the second action came and interrupt the first one. يعني قطعت الحدث الأول اللي كان مستمر، اللي كان في past perfect continuous. Another example to be given in football: our Moroccan national team had been struggling more than 20 years before they finally made it to the Russian World Cup. So here we have two actions. The first action, which is our Moroccan national team had been struggling more than 20 years before they finally made it to the Russian World Cup. So here the first action is a long action in the past, 20 years struggling to reach the World Cup finals or World Cup. It's a long period of time. And then here we have the second action that is in a simple past. So let's move on, last but not least, to the time expressions or adverbials of time associated with the past perfect continuous. And as you may know, each tense in English has its own adverbials of time or time indications. So here I made you this list of time expressions. We use for in order to indicate the long period of time, as we have seen in the example. I had been teaching in this school for 15 years or 20 years, so I used for in order to indicate the long period of time. All day, for example, can be used in an example to indicate a long action too. The whole day, the whole morning, the whole afternoon, the whole evening, or the whole night. For long or non-stop hours, for example, I had been teaching or I had been watching TV for non-stop hours or for long hours. It's also a long action in the. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. That's all for now, folks. If you got any questions, any comments, don't hesitate, put them below. And don't forget to share and subscribe with your friends. I hope to see you soon. Till then, peace and love. Stay safe and see you in another video.